How did you start? How did it happen?
Well, I was I think 5 years old nung my mom kasi she's like an artist. She used to be a ballerina and a theater actress then. So parang sila ng dad ko, they were debating if we should, yung mga anak nila, if they should go into sports or the arts. Tapos wala, we just did both. Pero mas na-enjoy ko siguro yung pagti-theater. I started doing it when I was 5 sa school ko, sa State Field School in Cavite. And ever since then, na-enjoy ko lang siya. Na-enjoy ko yung company of being in a theater group and the rehearsal process, yung all of that, yung hard work na pinuput, tapos yung reward kapag na-perform nyo na yung mga performances nyo. But then, my kuya, who's older than me, who's also in Game Boys, si Kuya Jerome, he plays London in Game Boys. Nag-aral siya sa Philippine High School for the Arts, which was my mom's dream when she was still in Bacolod. Pero yun, so nakapasa si Kuya Jerome doon, and it's like a privilege to study there kasi it's a scholarship thing and only a few people get in. Tapos, when I visited the campus, before I even auditioned and took the test, sobrang na-in-love ako. It's above Mount Makiling and sobrang ganda ng facilities, sobrang ganda ng view, sobrang peaceful. It's away from the city. That's why I wanted to study there then. So when I studied there naman, enjoy pa rin yung acting, enjoy pa rin yung arts, but it was more competitive kasi, we were trying to maintain high grades and we were trying to stay inside the school. Pero I fell in love with it kasi I got to learn about myself even more, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed learning about people kasi in acting you have to learn how to do observations and listening and empathizing, and I like that part about it. And me being myself, I'm really not the type who's comfortable with himself. That's why I like acting, because I like portraying other people. Parang mas gusto ko na lang gumanap bilang ibang character kaysa sa sarili ko. Kaya and with acting I get to learn more about different people kasi I'm portraying, even though they're characters, they're supposed to be real people, three-dimensional and fully realized. And I enjoy that part about it. And that's why I really love acting.
So, ilang taon ka nung pumasok ka sa PHSA?
I was 12. Yeah.
Yeah, so super young nga talaga. So, do you believe na it is important to study acting formally, or do you believe that there are those people who were born with the talent talaga?
I think there are people who are really born with a natural instinct for acting. Pero ako, I personally believe that studying about acting, having not necessarily a formal training, pero just studying about it, the history of it, siguro methods or processes. Kasi acting is still a craft, acting is still an art, and much like other artists and much like a painter who studies, diba, different strokes and different art as well, much like an athlete who needs to practice every week. I feel like may ganun ding responsibility ako bilang isang actor to get to learn the most about it, to get to learn everything about it, to be great at my craft.
So, di ba, you started sa indie scene. Yeah. So, how was the experience? How is it different sa like somehow mainstream media compared sa indie scene na?
How is it different? Well, first of all, the budget. Budget talaga yung difference niya, and mas gipit sa time kapag indie yung ginagawa niya kasi nga usually it's hinahabol siya for a festival or kulang lang talaga sa budget, so you have to finish it in a short amount of time. But ako, I haven't really done much mainstream stuff. Like, I'm about to venture into it palang, TV. I've experienced TV a couple of times, pero not, hindi pa siya malalaking experiences eh. It's not really significant experiences. So, I can't really say much about that side kasi hindi ko pa siya fully na-experience. About to pa lang. Pero sa indie, ako, I really enjoy making indie films, independent films kasi bakit ba? Kasi mas more about the art siya rather than the mas iniisip yung mas ramdam mo yung passion ng mga tao rather than work lang siya or about ewan ko, mas tapos yung experience pa of watching the movie during the festival with a ton of people, then reading the reviews about it and feeling so happy. Parang ibang gratification din yun for me. And I'd love to do both. I can't even choose kasi I think they're different in their own right, but they're also unique and great in their own rights, and I love doing both.
Yeah, speaking of your career in the indie scene, congratulations sa Kalel 15. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you were to name 5 valuable lessons that you learned either from school or dun sa experience mo sa acting, ano yung mga yun?
Siguro first, be on time. Always know, ano ba yun? Always give value to everybody's time other than yourself. Kasi hindi lang naman ikaw yung nagtatrabaho eh. So, si Tito Eddie Garcia yung nagsabi niyan sa akin that you have to really give value to time and being on time kasi it really, it really defines you then as an actor. Second, with acting, you always have to constantly observe everything. As in, even when you're just sitting down as an actor, you have to parang gawin mo siyang hobby, keep observing other people, other things, animals, how people interact, how relationships work. Kasi, kapag ipoportray mo na siya into a story, kailangan alam mo kung paano siya para may idea ka rin kung paano tumatakbo yun. Plus, observing kasi each character has to have a different personality and a different type of movement and, different as a person. And if you just keep doing yourself, then it's not gonna work. It's gonna be Elijah na lang all the time instead of whoever the character is. Kaya, ginawa ko na yung hobby. I like to always look at people, observe people. Tapos, another thing is you have to listen talaga. Siguro you have to listen even off-screen, even when you're not working. You have to make it a hobby to learn how to listen to whoever you're talking to or whoever is talking. Kasi, dun din darating yung mga reaction and then yung madami ka talagang matutunan. And I'm the type of guy who really likes to pick people's brains. Like, ako magsalita para malaman ko kung paano tumakbo yung utak ng isang tao. At makikinig kung paano siya magsalita or kung paano tumakbo yung isip niya. Kasi iba-iba nga yung takbo ng isip ng bawat character so that may baon ako, may offers ako for the next project I'm able to do and all that. Plus, when you're working na, may lines yan and everything. May script and everything. You know when you're about to say your line. Pero you have to always learn how to listen. Feeling ko napalakas nga yan when I did Boys. Kasi I was really just listening. When I was working with my co-actors, I never got to see their faces kasi I was always just looking at the screen. Kaya mas napalakas yung listening ability ko. Kasi dun lang talaga ako pwede mag-react kung paano magsalita or kung anong naririnig ko. And that's really important, especially kapag in person na and nakikita mo na Hindi pwedeng inaabangan mo lang yung next line mo. You have to be in that scene. You have to react to how she is gonna say it or how she is gonna do it. That's why you have to learn how to observe and listen. Tapos, fourth, you have to be open-minded. Talaga, I guess you have to be open-minded to keep yourself grounded na rin. And you have to be open-minded so that you know that this is a real world you're living in. Parang these are real stories you're gonna portray kahit mapa-sci-fi pa yan o weird story. These are supposedly real stories pa rin, and you have to them as raw and as real as possible. And that's why you have to be minded and para magawa mo rin yung trabaho mo to your fullest capabilities. Kasi kapag hesitations ka, huwag mo na lang gawin yung trabaho, di ba? Like, kapag nag-hesitate ka or kapag ayaw mo pala, tas ma-accept yung character mo or ma-accept yung story, then huwag mo na lang gawin yung work. But I always am open-minded to every story as long as, nandun pa rin yung principles and nandun yung, nasa tama, mali naman siya. Basta may prinsipyo and maganda. And I've been blessed enough to work with, amazing and genius directors and who have amazing and genius stories to tell. And sobrang blessed ako to be managed then by the Idea First company who guides me and lets me help tell these stories. Tapos 5, you just have to learn how to empathize. Empathy, gusto ko nga, as in that's really my motto. It's not a motto, pero that's the word I live by in life. Empathy. Pero empathy doesn't mean na mawalan ka ng prinsipyo. Basta maki-empathize ka. Hindi, you just have to learn and you just have to know that everyone is going through something in their own right, in their own lives. And you have to learn that they're thinking this way and there's a reason why they're thinking this way. And ako nga, like I said, I like to pick people's brains. And I like to pick people's personalities. And as an actor, that's really the most important thing for me. Aside from observing and listening and all that, it's really to empathize, not just with your characters, but also with your director and the crew and your co-actors, even the characters of your co-actors, to fully grasp everybody's state. I mean, I can't know everybody, pero as much as possible, I really try to, that's why when you learn how to empathize, you can also learn how to be kind and care for people genuinely. And that's why I really live by that word, even during work and after work.
So nice. So, sa lahat ng nagawa mo, from the movies, the series, what inspired you to be an actor? What was your aspirations ba? We know in your past interviews you mentioned that you wanted to become a director someday. So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I've always been in love with cinema. Sobrang addict ako sa movies. I used to have this problem where I couldn't get through a day without watching at least 3 movies. When I was like 13 or 14, I had to watch 3 movies a day. Tapos, yun, sobrang addict lang talaga ako sa movies and watching it. Tapos, I was lucky enough to start making them, in the Philippines, for Philippine cinema. Kaya, I think I have the best job in the world. And I'm so grateful to be in this spot where I am able to help people tell these stories and be a part of films and get to watch these films. I mean, I don't like watching myself, but I like watching films, and it really fills my drive and my passion. Kaya I really like acting aside from the fact na I like portraying other people nga other than myself, it's because I'm really in love with film and I'm really addicted to telling stories and watching movies and being a part of movies, being a part of filmmaking is really a privilege. Kaya kaya sobrang ayaw ko nang pakawalan to. Pero pangarap ko nga rin maging director. Pangarap ko rin maging director someday because, you know, I have my own stories to tell then. And right now, I'm really more of a, you know, a device and a tool to help tell these filmmaker stories. And maybe one day, kung papala rin, makwento ko rin yung mga sarili kong kwento at makapag-direct ako ng sariling pelikula. Pero right now, I'm really, really in love with acting. And as long as I get to make movies, then I think I'm good.
So right now, how do you choose your roles? Like, pinipili mo ba sila, sinasalang mo ba, or paano yung process mo sa pagtanggap ng role?
Alam mo, before, hindi talaga ako mapili with the roles because, you know, work kasi it doesn't come often. Parang as an actor, as a working actor, especially when I was still freelancing, it was really hard. So as long as there was work, I'd get it. Pero sobrang blessed ako to be a part of the Idea First company management. And to be honest, I have 101% complete trust in them. And they're the ones picking roles for me now. Kasi I trust them and I know they believe in me. And I trust their taste and I know that they know what the right project for me is. And sobrang blessed ko to have you know, Director si Direct June, Tita Judith to help to guide me in this industry. Kaya pero yun nga, I mean nagkakausap din naman kami and they know naman who I am and who I am as a person and who I am as an actor. So they know din talaga kung ano yung bagay sa akin and they know what I'd be excited to do.
Okay. So what is your message for all of the aspiring actors out there?
I guess first I'd have to tell you to be patient. It won't come as quick as you think it will, but as long as you work the hardest in the room and as long as you continue to be kind and continue to care for yourself and for other people as well, you'll make it. I mean, you're gonna get to tell these stories one day.
So aside from acting, we observed that you also like to travel. You've been to a lot of places, especially kapag nasa film festival ka, ganyan. So madami ka na ding napuntahan. So can you give us your 3 favorite destinations for like scenery, food, and the total experience?
I guess first would be Marlborough Hills sa Batanes. Grabe yung view doon sa Batanes. Grabe yung Batanes as a place. You know that naman, di ba?
Yeah.
Sobrang ganda ng view doon. Sabi ko nga, kung mamamatay ako, doon na lang. Or kung ikakasal ako, doon na lang din. Sobrang peaceful and I felt like I was at peace with myself and the whole world when I was there. And I'd love pagtapos na yung pandemic and all, sana matry and you'll know how that feels. Sobrang sarap, grabe. Second, I guess, ano ba? Second, I guess the museum circle sa Amsterdam, sa Stylex, sa Rijksmuseum, tsaka sa Van Gogh Museum. Sobrang, yung tatlong museum, may Moco Museum din doon pero dito na siya napuntahan. Pero yung tatlong yun, like, sobrang ganda ng architecture niya. And when you go inside, it's like a totally different experience. It feels like you're transported into a different world. Into each museum, as in, different siya in its own right. Feels like you're in a different time whenever you go to a different museum. And I'm a person who really loves art. Kaya, baka yun nga yung, ang hirap kung Marlboro Hills pa or that. Kasi I'd love to just sleep in those museums and kasi may bago yun, diba? Every time nagbabago yung collections doon. And I love to go back there sana all the time. Third, ano ba third? Ano ba third? European. I guess sa Amsterdam din, the Long River sa may Anne Frank house, kung saan ginawa yung The Fault in Our Stars. I was biking there. And as in napastop lang talaga ako just to admire the view. And it was really quiet, and daming birds. And I took a couple pictures, pero I spent like almost 30 minutes to an hour just sitting there, just looking at everybody, observing how the city works. And sobrang peaceful nga din niya. And sobrang lamig. Plus, hindi maingay. And ang ganda nung ilaw. Ang ganda lang talaga. Ang ganda nung scenery. Amsterdam, for sure. Yeah.
So it's easy to say na if you're going to after this pandemic, if you're given a chance to go back saang lugar?
Amsterdam, for sure. Amsterdam, just because I've only been there once, twice. But I heard that every time you go back to it, there's something new about it. Plus, it's a very liberated city. Sobrang diverse din. And culturally, it's also rich. And art, ang daming art doon. As a person who loves art, sobrang daming art doon. And parang you can never stop learning in that country. You can never stop learning when you go to those museums and bike around and observe people. You can never stop learning. That's why I love to go back there until the rest of time.
So aside from traveling, acting, ano pa yung mga secret hobbies ni Elijah Canlas na hindi alam ng mga fans or
Like I said, I'm a ano yun, Mark?
Kung okay lang namang i-share.
Of course, yeah. Ako, like I said, I'm really addicted to watching movies and series. And sobrang sad nga right now that cinemas are closed because of the pandemic. Because that's really what I do in my spare time. Like I go to the theater and I watch movies because that's a whole different experience. Pero I'm really happy that filmmakers and storytellers still get to do what they want to do because of technology and the streaming apps. So I always just, much like everybody, I Netflix and chill and watch movies, watch series. Pero other than that, I really I'm also addicted to listening to music and learning about music. I mean, I love writing rap lyrics. I love writing rap lyrics.
Yeah,
and
I love this you're freestyling.
yeah. That's also a thing I do. I practice freestyling. Pag nasa banyo, I shower, I play an instrumental beat, and as I shower, I just try to freestyle. But if you ask my friends, as in sometimes we're just walking, and then I'll be like, "Give me a beat," and then I'll just freestyle over their beat. Parang it's like fun for me. I'm not really good at it, pero I enjoy doing it, and even if I fail while I'm doing it, it's just good vibes. And I really love hip-hop as an art as well as yung literature ng hip-hop, ng rap. It's really, it can be politically charged and sometimes just funny. And I love that. It's like watching a movie. Listening to albums as a whole, it's like watching movies then. Kaya, I have my turntable right here and I play my vinyls or di kaya I find the instrumental beats and I write bars on it. Yun talaga yung hobby ko.
Balik tayo sa acting. Kanina. What would be your most memorable experience sa shooting Game Boys?
When people ask me about Game Boys, I always go back to the first episode. Kasi that first episode was the hardest one to shoot, even though it was only 10 minutes long and wala naman talaga siyang kailangan, di ba? Wala naman talagang dramatic moment doon, walang heavy scene. It was just good vibes talaga. Parang nanlalandi lang si Gavin kay Cairo. It doesn't look hard. Pero it took us almost a month to do that. It took us 5 reshoots to do that. Kasi we were shooting inside our houses lang. And I did all the setup. Well, kita nyo, wala na nga yung setup ni Cairo. Pero I was doing the setups with my mom, myself. Pinadala lang kami ng mga 4 big crates. In-instruct lang kami kung saan ilalagay through video call. I mean, that's a whole nother experience for me as an actor na. Parang, as an actor, usually kasi actors are just spoiled artists, di ba? Parang they go to set, tapos pupunta silang tent, tapos tatawagin na lang sila pag kailangan sila. Pero Game Boys, it was really a collaborative effort. Kasi I could just imagine our directors and everybody in the team just on video call, tas inutusan lang ako what to do. Then nakaupo lang sila, wala silang magawa, diba? Tapos ako lang gumagawa. It was hard in that aspect. Pero also, acting-wise, it was so hard pa kasi sobrang distracting lang lahat ng factors going into it. Na hindi ko nga makita eye to eye yung si Kokoy. And then, minsan nag-overheat pa yung phone noon. Tapos ang init-init, summer pa kasi noon, ang init-init. Tapos papatayin ko yung electric fan, patayin ko yung aircon, ayusin ko yung lights. Ang dami. Tapos biglang aarte pa ako. Like, on top of all of that, I need to act. And sobrang hirap na adjustment siya. Kasi first of all, the filmmaking process was experimental. And I was doing a lot of that process myself with the help of my family then and syempre everybody else. Pero a lot of it, parang ang dami kong ginagawa aside from just acting. Kaya sobrang hirap nun. Yun yung isa mga memorable experiences. Yeah.
Sorry. So you would agree na Game Boys would be one of the hardest project of yours at the moment?
Oh, it's the hardest. It's the hardest project I've ever done, for sure. Sobrang hirap niya. It took us to complete 13 episodes and the whole show, the whole season 1. It was 5 months yata just to do that, and it was like a weekly thing. Tapos kung hindi siya every day, it's every other day. Tapos aside from that, you had to do the VOs at home then, the voiceovers at home. Then you have to do Instagram, di ba, sa Game Boys, big part yung mga stories nila, Instagram stories nila. So I had to do that in my own time as well. Parang, it's really hard. On top of all of that, I was doing it inside my house. And I can't go outside and I can't go anywhere else. I was just doing it here. So ang hirap mag-detach. This is the same house ni Cairo. Yung house ni Cairo, house ko rin. So, ang hirap mag-detach sa character. Like kumari, episode 7 na, spoiler alert, Cairo's dad passed away. Tapos sobrang, I could just imagine, I hope I did it justice, pero reading about it and doing that scene, I was just thinking of everybody who's lost lives in this pandemic, and I could just imagine how heavy that could be. Tapos, yun nga, I did it like 3 takes. Tapos, after that, I couldn't let go. Kasi I was still crying, cut na, tapos na yung shoot. Nasa taas ako, matutulog na dapat, umiiyak pa rin ako. Tapos ang hirap mag-detach, like, nagkaroon pa ako ng mga existential na problems, like, si Cairo pa ba ako or si Elijah? Kasi nahihirapan talaga ako mag-detach from Cairo. And for sure, that was really hard kasi Cairo is also a hard character to portray. So, ang dami niyang layers. Ang dami niyang pinagdadaanan. Ang dami niyang walls. And he's completely different from me. That's why, tapos nasa loob na lang ako ng bahay ko. I didn't have that, that environment na pwede kong pagkuhanan ng inspiration. Kasi this is Elijah's place. Pero it was really the hardest role I had to portray, plus the hardest project I had to do because of the process.
So, you've done indie and you're venturing to the mainstream na. So, what would be your dream role?
Dream role? Ako talaga, isa sa mga pangarap ko yung something like Dustin Hoffman from Rain Man or Daniel Day-Lewis, My Left Foot. Yung disabled na characters because iba yun yung physicality na kailangan doon. That's a big challenge. Plus yung mental, yung emotional capacity pa you need for it. Sobrang complex. You really need to give it your all. And pangarap ko lang talaga to tell stories like those kasi usually, for me parang hindi siya masyadong maayos na natitel yung mga disabled stories, especially in the Philippines.
They need more representation.
Yeah, need more representation. Pero, yeah, I just want that challenge. Yung completely different physicality and different emotional capacity. Parang I want that challenge as an actor. I want to be able to do that someday. Yung psycho. Pwede rin yung mga psycho, like Jake Gyllenhaal sa Nightcrawler, or Joker, Heath Ledger, or Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, those are amazing roles. Pero gusto ko rin syempre mga sci-fi, maging astronaut one day. Pero parang tagal pa yata dito sa Philippines. Pangarap din yun. Syempre action star. Gusto ko rin yun. Mga FPJ stuff.
So if you're not in acting right now, ano yung ginagawa ng isang Elijah Canlas?
Sagot ko dyan, parate astronaut eh. It's always been my dream to be an astronaut. Pero maybe I don't think I'd be far off from filmmaking. Seriously. Like, ever since I was a kid, I was always addicted to movies and I've always wanted to make movies. So kung hindi ako actor, I'm probably behind the scenes. Maybe the director or maybe a rapper nga.
So my last question would be, what would be your message for everyone, message of hope for everyone during this pandemic?
Just hang on there. I know it's been tough. I know you're going through something and I know it's not easy, but I hope you hang in there. I hope you stick to some company, your families, your friends. Talk to them, be with them. Life is beautiful, even though it's really chaotic right now, but life is beautiful and you're gonna go through a lot more and it's gonna be fun. You're gonna keep failing, but it's gonna be fun, but you're gonna keep learning. So I hope everybody stays safe out there, and as much as possible, if we can, we try to see the bright side in all of this and try to see the bright side in life, and let's just keep going and be there for each other.
That's so beautiful. So that would be all. That concludes our interview. Thank you very much, Elijah. Miss Judy, thank you ba?
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you. Thanks, Jello. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tita Judith. Bye-bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Stay safe, guys.